All praise given unto Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai by Hashem Rakah HaKadosh. Double honors to the elders, apostles of Great Millstone who ruled well. Shalom to the hopeful elect, beginning with 144,000. And the rest of the men and women and children. I'm your brother, my gun, Shalom Mar.
It was a U.S. project. I would go often to Nairobi and meet U.S. military or senators or others with deep interest in Sudan's politics. This was part of the game of unipolarity. So the NATO enlargement, as you know, started in 1999 with Hungary, Poland, and the Czech Republic. And Russia was extremely unhappy about it. But these were countries still far from the border. And Russia protested, but of course to no avail. Then George Bush Jr. came in. When 9/11 occurred, President Putin pledged all support. And then the U.S. Decided in September 20th, 2001, that it would launch 7 wars in 5 years. And you can listen to General Wesley Clark online talk about that. He was NATO's supreme commander in 1999. He went to the Pentagon on September 20th, 2001. He was handed the paper explaining 7 wars. These, by the way, were Netanyahu's wars. The idea was partly to clean up old Soviet allies and partly to take out supporters of Hamas and Hezbollah. Because Netanyahu's idea was there will be one state, thank you, only one state. It will be Israel. Israel will control all of the territory. And anyone that objects, we will overthrow. Not we exactly, our friend, the United States. That's U.S. policy until this morning. We don't know whether it will change. Now, the only wrinkle is that maybe the U.S. will own Gaza instead of Israel owning Gaza. But the idea has been around at least for 25 years. It actually goes back to a document called Clean Break that Netanyahu and his American political team put together in 1996 to end the idea of the two-state solution. You can also find it online. So these are projects. These are long-term events. These aren't, is it Clinton? Is it Bush? Is it Obama? That's the boring way to look at American politics, as the day-to-day game. But that's not what American politics is. So the next round of NATO enlargement came in 2004 with 7 more countries. The 3 Baltic states, Romania, Bulgaria, Slovenia, and Slovakia. At this point, Russia was pretty damn upset. This was a complete violation of the post-war order agreed with German reunification. Essentially, it was a fundamental trick or defection of the U.S. from a cooperative arrangement, is what it amounted to, because they believe in unipolarity. So as everybody recalls, because we just had the Munich Security Conference last week in 2007, President Putin said, stop, enough, stop now. And of course, what that meant was in 2008, the United States jammed down Europe's throat enlargement of NATO to Ukraine and to Georgia. This is a long-term project. I listened to Mr. Saakashvili in New York in May of 2008, and I walked out, called Sonia, and said, this man's crazy. And a month later, a war broke out because the United States told this guy, we saved Georgia. And he stands at the Council on Foreign Relations, says, Georgia's in the center of Europe. Well, it ain't, ladies and gentlemen. It's not in the center of Europe. And the most recent events are not helpful for Georgia, for its safety, and your MPs going there, or MEPs going there, and European politicians. That gets Georgia destroyed. That doesn't save Georgia. That gets Georgia destroyed. Completely destroyed. In 2008, as everybody knows, our former CIA Director William Burns sent a long message back to Condoleezza Rice. Niet means niet about expansion. This we know from Julian Assange, because believe me, not one word is told to the American people about anything, or to you, or by any of your newspapers these days. So we have Julian Assange to thank, but we can read the memo in detail. As you know, Viktor Yanukovych was elected in 2010 on the platform of neutrality. Russia had no territorial interests or designs in Ukraine at all. I know, I was there during these years. What Russia was negotiating was a 25-year lease to 2042 for Sevastopol Naval Base. That's it. Not for Crimea, not for the Donbass, nothing like that. This idea that Putin is reconstructing the Russian Empire, this is childish propaganda, excuse me. If anyone knows the day-to-day and year-to-year history, this is childish stuff. Childish stuff seems to work better than adult stuff. So, no designs at all. The United States decided this man must be overthrown. It's called a regime change operation. There have been about 100 of them by the United States, many in your countries, and many all over the world. That's what the CIA does for a living. Okay, please know it. It's a very unusual kind of foreign policy. But in America, if you don't like the other side, you don't negotiate with them, you try to overthrow them. Preferably covertly. If it doesn't work covertly, you do it overtly. You always say it's not our fault. They're the aggressor. They're the other side. They're Hitler. That comes up every 2 or 3 years. Whether it's Saddam Hussein, whether it's Assad, whether it's Putin, that's very convenient. That's the only foreign policy explanation the American people are ever given anywhere. Well, we're facing Munich 1938. Well, we're facing Munich 1938.
So as you can see, this Edomite, he is an economist, very respected amongst Europeans. You would think that he's actually a European, you know, like live over in Russia somewhere, the way he talks about America, but actually he's an American. And he's been just basically telling the whole Europe that America is wicked, you know, and in the CIA, things that, you know, Ray Millstone always brought out for years now, that they always been saying that that the Esau, Edom, is the devil the Bible speaks of, and he used these wicked devices to lie to the world. But now his lies are starting to become on the forefront. This is Psalms 64:8. So they shall make their own tongue to fall upon themselves. All that see them shall flee away. And this is what he's doing. He's almost like a whistleblower. He's telling all the secrets of how the CIA actually starts these wars. And he said, even in your countries, they've done it. They go and make all these wars, and they sit back and wait till they kill each other, and they come in with the solution.
And again, I know all these people. I used to be a member of the Democratic Party. I now am strictly sworn to be a member of no party, because both are the same anyway, and because this is, the Democrats became complete warmongers over time, and there was not one voice about peace, just like most of your parliamentarians, the same way. So at the end of 1991, Putin put on the table a last effort in two security agreement drafts, one with Europe and one with the United States. The U.S. put on the table December 15th, 2021. I had an hour call with Jake Sullivan in the White House begging, Jake, avoid the war. You can avoid the war. All you have to do is say NATO will not enlarge to Ukraine. And he said to me, oh, NATO's not going to enlarge to Ukraine. Don't worry about it. I said, Jake, say it publicly. No, we can't say it publicly. Say, Jake, you're going to have a war over something that isn't even going to happen? He said, don't worry, Jeff, there will be no war. These are not very bright people. I'm telling you, if I can give you my honest view, they're not very bright people. And I've dealt with them for more than 40 years. They talk to themselves. They don't talk to anybody else. They play game theory. In non-cooperative game theory, you don't talk to the other side. You just make your strategy. This is the essence of game theory. It's not negotiation theory. It's not peacemaking theory. It is unilateral, non-cooperative theory, if you know formal game theory. That's what they play. It started at the Rand Corporation. That's what they still play. In 2019, there's a paper by Rand, How Do We Extend Russia? Do you know they wrote a paper, which Biden followed, How Do We Annoy Russia? That's literally the strategy. How do we annoy Russia? We're trying to provoke it, trying to make it break apart, maybe have regime change, maybe have unrest, maybe have economic crisis. That's what you call your ally.
So, this, America's been, Babylon the Great is going to fall. You can't wait for it to fall. And this is what Yahweh Shah is doing, Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shah is doing, is bringing him to his feet. Because the Lord is about to tear down this place, about to burn it up, man. It's going to become a lake of fire. And these devils are scared, man. They scared. And this is why he's pleading. He's almost like crying, trying to convince some of the EU people that's there to talk to America. Don't listen to America. Don't fall in with her when she's trying to persuade you to go to war with Russia. So they're very afraid of what's going to come, but it's going to happen anyway, because Yahweh Shai is going to soon come back, and Yahweh is bringing this terror on this, bringing them into terror and bringing them on their feet. This is Job chapter 18:11. Terror shall make him afraid on every side and shall drive him to his feet. And that's what's happening to the Edomites here in America. That terror is starting to make them stand up and look both ways, and behind them, in front of them, being prepared to flee. But he's not going to flee from this World War III. He's not going to flee from them ICBM missiles that's going to come down, right? And he's not going to flee from Yahweh Shah HaMashiach when he break that sky open with his hundreds of thousands of chariots, along with his holy angels, when they burn down this place, man. Verse 14, his confidence shall be rooted out of his tabernacle, and it shall bring him to the king of terrors. So, like the elders bring out at camp, the Lord is going to bring them to terrors. Their worst imaginations they're gonna, whatever they imagine, the worst that can happen to them is going to happen to them. So this is what we're waiting for, waiting for the new world order to get it on and popping. When they bring out the MOTB, we know it to be the RFID chip, which is already on its way. It's already starting over there in Sweden. So we're waiting to make it mandatory for the whole world to take it in their right hand or in their forehead, but only the elect is going to escape that hour of temptation. And we're waiting on, soon after that, the World War III is going to kick off when Russia and China started sending them ICBM missiles over, because Russia is going to get tired of this shit that America is doing with the tariffs and all these embargoes they putting on them within, 7 more days. So yeah, we waiting for this to go ahead and get on and popping. So I hope this was edifying. With that, I'm going to say Shalom. All praises to Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shah Ba'Shem, Makar HaKadosh. Double honor to the elder apostles, great millstone who rule well. Shalom.